Hi, I'm Jun Suzuki. I have a background in lyrical singing. I sang in many operas, and then I studied cinema and media arts, and I got into video art, sound art, installation art, generative art, and that led me to using more and more nerdy softwares. Naturally, I came to write my first lines of code. And so, now I work as a data engineer and agent engineer in a legal AI startup based in Marseille called Ystacks. And I keep my artistic practices on the side where I introduce more and more coding as well. So it's kind of, I'm kind of meeting both edges of the spectrum. The scope of the art practices that I'm involved with, like installations, sound art, producing music, it's pretty close to the logic behind coding. Like basically, I would sum this up as we have input data, we process the data, and we output the data. So if I'm working with audio, then it's going to be input audio, bunch of maybe sound effect, MIDI effects, and then I'm outputting something else. If I work with generative art, I will work with different type of signals, audio, MIDI, video, and then I'm outputting whatever I need to output. So it's exactly the same as coding, right? You have functions and you change the data, you transform it, and then you output a result. So for me, it's generative systems within arts or with coding systems. I would say it depends. So actually I wrote a research paper with a collaborator and friend of mine called Ninon Devy. We wrote a research paper for the CNC, which is the French National Center of Cinema. And we wrote a paper on the singularity in the age of AI in the scope of cinema. And what we tried to demonstrate in this research paper was that indeed, generative models, and I'm only speaking about generative AI models, those are built to basically recreate what is like the mean data or the norm data that should come out of these huge data sets that they've been trained on. So they are by design to generate very normal things. What we argue is that there are some ways to generate, using those models to generate more singular stuff, but we need to configure, we need to break, we need to hack those AI systems in order to do that. Actually with Ninon as well, we've participated in a very interesting residency as part of CTM Festival in Berlin. The residency was called Wilding AI Lab, so it's pretty telling. And the residency was a week of basically hacking AI models to try to get something singular out of the ordinary from them, out of them. And I think we need more and more spaces like that, at least for artists who are curious about AI, to kind of reconcile artists, creative minds with AI models, because indeed, by design, those models are not made for creative stuff, but we can, if we want, and if we're curious, we can use them and hijack them to try to create something crazy and alien. Yes, okay. Well, when you are singing opera, most of the time you are not standing still, you're moving on stage, right? You're not in a choir or in a church, so you're playing a character, so you're moving on stage. And other singers as well are moving on stage, and so there's a sense of specialization of the sound. The audience, they're gonna hear the opera singer sing and move, and if the singer is moving their head right, then the sound is gonna shift like this. So there's really this kind of spatialization that is quite interesting in opera. And I think that's maybe unconsciously kind of an obsession for me as well as an installation artist. Most of the time when I showcase sound installations, I play with specialization. For example, one of the first installations I showcased in Berlin was 9 tape recorder installation, where I placed on a huge white wall 9 tape recorders that were playing simultaneously. They were all playing on their own speakers, so you would hear a different mix of the 9 speakers depending on where you were standing in the room, right? Those are simple tricks to spatialize sound, but Yeah, I think it's a very interesting topic to play with this specialization, be it music or sound or more experimental stuff. And yeah, I would recommend definitely exploring this type of technique. It doesn't have to be fancy studios like Monome. You can also do that with just tape recorders. So yeah. I don't know if there's one specific creative task, but I would say one thing that is missing is maybe one part of the artistic creative process. What I really value in the creative process is the time where you allow yourself to create some accidents, or it just happens unconsciously or on purpose you create it. And that is totally out of generative AI models, right? They just generate stuff indefinitely, and they're just gonna generate the same type of stuff if you don't configure them, if you don't hack them, if you don't break them. So I think that's something that is very valuable and that we should keep as human beings, and that's why we still need human in the loop. Even though we collaborate with AI in our creative processes, I think we still need that human in the loop sometimes to introduce maybe some friction or generate on purpose some accidents that can lead to interesting stuff. Yes, I mean, for developers or just for everyone in the world, I guess, like creativity or curiosity, in my experience, something that is very valuable because it's just about open-mindedness and learning about something that you don't know. I think interdisciplinarity, whatever the discipline, is so richer than anything else. Like when you code and you do art, that's my thing. But like it can be anything else. If within the arts you can do different types of art, right? Like I'm always more curious to talk with people that have been experiencing different type of art or different types of whatever things in the world, because it shows that you have curiosity, it shows that you go beyond your initial comfort zone. And yeah, I guess if you have this mindset, then you also have more empathy. Everyone should, not just developers, but everyone should lean towards this kind of open-mindedness and curiosity, in my opinion. In the age of AI, I would say don't be rigid on your technical stack. The stack is changing every 2 years. It used to change every 2 years, now every 6 months. Now, maybe nowadays it's every 2 months. So of course you need to have some solid basis, but don't be rigid. Don't tell yourself, oh, I want to be a Java developer for the rest of my life. Like, it's not gonna happen. Everything, like my job as a developer has changed so much in the last year. So within 5 years, it's absolutely sure that it's gonna change even more. So don't be rigid on that stack and hone those soft skills that we always talk about, especially in Epitech, like adaptability, curiosity, like we just talked about. Yeah, that's it, and have fun.